September is Craniosynostosis Awareness Month. Why should this matter to you? Well, this should matter to you because it happens in 1 in every 2,500 babies. That means in the US alone, almost 15,000 babies are born with this condition a year. So this could be your niece or your nephew. A neighbor could have been born with this condition. It could be your son or your daughter. It could be a stranger that you bumped into at the store. It's surprising how many people out there actually have had this condition. My son got his helmet in January of this year, and since then, in just the Puget Sound area, which is an area of about 1,000 square miles in Washington State, every month, at least once a month since my son has got his helmet, we have met at least one person that knows someone with craniosynostosis. Some months we've even met more. Hey there, Salina here, and as I've said already, this month is Craniosynostosis Awareness Month. I want to make a series of videos telling you guys what it is, and the reason why I want to do that is because my son was born with this condition. And I do have an older video, which I will link up here, where I do explain what it is and all that stuff, but I do want to do an updated version of that video because I do know more information than what I knew then. But I am not an expert on this condition. I'm just sharing you guys what I know. So please consult your doctor. And if there's any information that I'll leave out of this video or in any future videos, which you guys should subscribe so that you guys can get those videos. But if there's any information that I leave out or that you think should be added, please leave it down in the comments below and I will add it to the description of this video. Oh, also, purple for craniosynostosis. I borrowed the shirt from my mom because I only have one purple shirt. So, what is craniosynostosis? Craniosynostosis is a condition where the sutures in the baby's skull fuse early. So, I am going to be using this Spider-Man ball to show you guys what I am talking about. But our skull is made up of plates, and in between these plates are sutures, and these sutures stay open until about 2 or 3 years old, and these being open allow our head to grow when we're younger. So craniosynostosis is when one or more of these sutures closes too early. This can happen before or after birth. There are several different types of craniosynostosis, and I will use Spider-Man here to show you guys what they are. So the first one is metopic craniosynostosis, and it happens when this suture right here along the forehead closes too early. This one is also called trigsynostosis. I will put the word right here, but I know the short version of that is trig. There's coronal, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, that would be right here, craniosynostosis. There are 3 different types, and the coronal sutures are right here on the sides, and then this right here is the soft spot that is at the top of the head. But there are 2 coronal sutures right here. So there is left coronal, where just the left one is closed. There is right coronal, which is when the right one is closed, and then there's bicoronal when both are closed. The 2 that I just told you guys about, the metopic suture being closed causes the head to the forehead to kind of create a pointed shape. The right and left coronal sutures can kind of deform the face, so one eye may be lower than the other, and they may be like a little dent in the head. And then there is the sagittal suture, which is right here. It goes along the top part of the head, and this is what my son actually has. It is the most common. This one causes the head to be narrow, so the sides of the head are usually straight and the head grows out really long, so it causes like usually a bulge in the forehead of the child and in the back of the head. And then there is like a very small soft spot in the back of the head, and then there are these two sutures in the back also, which are called lambdoid sutures. These are the lambdoid sutures. And this often causes to have like a flat spot in the back of their head. So I didn't look this up, but I wonder if this one could often be mistaken for flathead syndrome, because it does look pretty similar if you look at the pictures, that in the back of the head there are the flat spots, and these sutures are like right here in this part of the head. So because I know it looks all kinds of weird on the ball, but hopefully the ball helped. So those are the different types of craniosynostosis. Syndromes. Craniosynostosis can be non-syndromatic and syndromatic, meaning that sometimes craniosynostosis will happen in kids that also have some other kind of syndrome, which I will name a few of those, and it can also happen in kids without any kind of syndrome. And my son is in the non-syndromatic section. So some of the syndromes that it can happen with are Apert syndrome, Crouzon syndrome, Pfeiffer, and Carpenter syndrome, and there are other syndromes that this can happen with. Sometimes craniosynostosis is a genetic disorder, and then other times it is not, and it is not known why the child has it. It just happened, and that is also the category that my son is in. So I know this is like a random clip in the video, but I forgot to say this and just wanted to add it in. So as you can see, we have a guest here who will join us at the end of the video. But kids are diagnosed at many different ages with this condition. Some are diagnosed at birth, some are diagnosed a few months after they're born. My son was officially diagnosed, I want to say, around 1 month. Some are later. Some kids don't get diagnosed until they're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. So being diagnosed can happen at any time. How is it diagnosed? Craniosynostosis is diagnosed in several different ways. It can be diagnosed using an x-ray, though sometimes the x-rays can come back as inconclusive. They can diagnose it using a CAT scan or CT scan. My son had one of these done, though he was diagnosed with it before that. It can be diagnosed just by looking at the baby's head and the shape of his head, which is really how my son was diagnosed with it. The doctor just looked at his head and was like, yeah, he's got craniosynostosis. He didn't even sugarcoat it at all. But there's also, where the sutures close, there will also be like a little ridge going down the area where the suture is closed. So that is also a way for it to be, or to help with the diagnosis. I don't think that my son had a ridge, but his head was shaped in a way that it was really easy to tell that he had it. So my son woke up. So here he is with his helmet on. So next I'm going to be talking about where to find support. Because this condition is so rare, it can be really hard to find support for this condition. So I'm going to list several places where you can find support. The first one is your hospital. Your hospital may have a program to where they can set you up with another family or other families who have this condition. My hospital had a program. Yours may or may not, but you can always ask to find out if they do. Sorry, the camera's crooked. He touched it. So the second place is Facebook. There are several groups on Facebook. All of them will be linked down below. But there is Cranio Kids, Craniosynostosis Support. There is one for kids in helmets. There is Cranio Ribbons, which is actually a Facebook page. And there is another Facebook group, which the name I forgot. But I'm positive that there are more. There's even one for older kids. It is a great place to go and to ask questions about the condition. Everyone there is 100% supportive, and it's fantastic. Any questions that you have, any concerns that you have, you can go there and look. There are people There are even people there with older kids or who are adults themselves that have had it, so you can see how kids or how the kids are when they're older, whether they had surgery or had a helmet or didn't have anything done. You can see how it's affected them. There are two websites that I know of, which is capkids.org and craniobears.com. Those will be linked down below. Yeah. Cranio Bears, I believe it is, they actually send care packages out to families whose kids are going to be having surgeries. They have, I believe they come with like a stuffed animal, some toys for the kids, books, a prayer chain, and several other items. I personally didn't get one because I didn't find out about it until after my son had surgery. But you can either go to the website or you can go to the Cranio Bears Facebook group and ask about it there, and somebody will help you with that. And if you want to, you can ask me any questions that you want. Again, I am not an expert on the subject, but I would be so happy to help anybody who has any kind of questions and answer them to the best of my ability. So I hope this video is helpful to somebody. I do plan on making other videos on the subject. My next video will be about how it can affect the child in the future, whether or not they have the condition, ways to treat the condition if you choose to have it treated at all. Though most do need treatment, I will also be doing a video on my experience with it and things that people have said to me, how it has affected him and all that stuff. And then I will do like a whole video on just helmets. So that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. New video every Sunday and every Wednesday. If you have any requests, please let me know. And until next time, deuces.